Hello, Giggle, Caroline. I just had a bath, yes. Because you were a little bit mucky, Caroline. Things happen, yes. Oh, but you are so cute. I'm going to dry off now. Caroline, oh, I'm so excited. Why that? Look at the drawing behind me. It's me and Cuthbert. It is, isn't it? So this is the sketch, and we're going to do a little illustration, aren't we? Yes, Caroline. It's going to be lovely. Cuthbert is my bestie. Oh, you're so big now. Cuthbert and I, we are almost 3 weeks old. Oh, wow. We love each other, you know. So let's go and have a look at what we can do. Yes, Caroline. Let's go and get the colors in. Oh! This is the sketch that I created. It was quite easy with all the photos and videos that I had of Giggle and Cuthbert. I had a lot of material actually to work with. And I thought I would do something like this, putting them together, looking at each other, and the idea is it forms a heart eventually. So I am placing a piece of tracing paper over it, as you can see. So then you can pick and choose what you are going to draw from the drawing that you've done, the sketch that you've done. So it's always interesting. You can go over the top with your drawing thanks to that. I'm going to draw it with this pen, which are basically acrylic pen. You can use rotring. Originally, it's rotring pen with inks that architects use. But here we are going to use these ones that are very good as well. So this is a 0.2, I think. So there we go. There we go. So I am going through the little dawn here, which I really like because actually you can create a bit of movement with them. So all you have to do is go for it and don't hesitate. Have a sure hand and carry on. So as you can see, there are some things that I actually didn't draw because they are just here where I know the shadow will be. So I kind of mark that. And also there is also the movement, the direction of the dawn, a bit like when we draw hair. You got the direction of the hair on an animal is very important because if you do it the wrong way, it's gonna be noticed even unconsciously by the viewer. So I'm going around like that and keeping some of my drawing off. And also, you can actually add some things as well because seeing the drawing, the final drawing, you're like, oh, actually, maybe I need to add this there or that there. Here with Giggle's neck, for example, I'm adding a little bit because his neck is turned around, so you have a tension in the neck because of the muscle that are important to mark. Now the shadow and the colors are going to amplify that effect as well. And the little wing, we love their little wings, don't we? So cute. So they are about 3 weeks old, just under 3 weeks old as I am drawing them right now. So they started having their shape of in the legs, in the thigh, there's some muscle. They're a little bit bigger than when they are super small just after hatching and fluffing up. Their legs are getting strong at that point, and their necks start growing as well. But the wings, no, the wings are always last. And for the legs, just go for it. Go for lines that are pretty straight as well. It gives a little bit of dynamism to the drawing. And here we are. So the drawing is done. Also regarding the eyes, there is a reflection from the sun or the source of light. And so I mark that so I know exactly where it is. Because I want it in a certain way. I want them to look at each other. Now we are going to place the shadow on that side. So we're not moving anything. And the color will be on the other side. So I am picking my colors. I'm using pro markers, which are great for tracing paper because when you put them on tracing paper, you can smudge them a bit and mix them a bit. It's not like you put some felt tips on paper, and there is, once you've done a line, that's the line. So you can still actually move the color around a little bit. So the color I have picked, and now I am picking my shadows. And I will explain something about the shadows. So I've got 3 different shadows here, really dark, a medium, and a light one. Now the medium and the light one are very similar. So I have a trick for that, which I am going to show you in a minute. So for the moment, we are going to work on the sort of medium light shadow, just for me to see where I am at. Now, when you use rotring, the great thing with rotring is that the ink doesn't dry very quickly, so you can still mix it with a shadow and play with it. With the pen I'm using, it's not as much, but as you can see, I can smudge it a bit. So create a softer shadow, which I like actually with the dawn, because the dawn is catching the light in a very fuzzy way, shall we say. So as I feel that I need a shadow that is not as dark as this, but in the middle of the shadow that I put on paper and this one, I am using a pen that is very light, and I mix it with the dark shadow, so it will give me a medium shadow here. So a gray value that is in between. And I'm playing with it because obviously I can put more or less inks on it, and then I can still sort of dab it and have it smudgy a bit if I need to. And here we are. So now we have practically all the shadows done. And the beaks as well, the legs, because Cuthbert has got dark legs. It's almost like a purple color, when Giggle has got a orange leg and beak. Now we are going to work on the reverse side. You can see that this way, thanks to the tracing paper, the shadow and the color will not mix. If I put some color on the shadows that I've put on the same side, it will sort of lift them up. So lift them up means that it will actually remove the color. And also it will make the tip of my color dirty. So I will have to clean it somehow by actually using it over and over on a piece of paper, which is not something that you want to do. So I'm going slowly with some yellow. It's a yellow that is not too acidic. When it's too acidic, it doesn't really work with the drawing, as I find. So it's a yellow that almost, when I say acidic, it means there is absolutely no red in it. So there you go. And the tip of the beak is a little bit pink in Cuthbert, and he's got pink in his legs because his legs has got some purple. So there is pink in it, which is a nice touch of warm color. Giggle's beak is warm as well. He's got an orange, but that's an orange that towards the tip goes towards pink. So I do a repetition of the pink here, and it's always nice to have some sort of reflection of the color from one subject to the other. It makes them feel more together, sort of things, part of the same piece. I'm using a darker orange for the shadows. It's not really the shadows of the beak, actually. That's the tint of the beak is different from the top to the bottom. And we got the same thing with the little legs. Now we always need to give our subject a ground. So it's ground they are standing on, and it makes everything feels more real. I try to work on the shadow in a different way than normal, because what I wanted to create is the tip of a heart, the bottom tip of a heart. Now, the light is fairly diffused on them. It's not like, it's fairly, there is the light on the top of their head and not too much of a direction that I do sometimes on some painting. There is a clear direction of where the main source of light is. But here we are creating a nice little touch. I think now we will we'll have to ask Giggle and Cuthbert what they think about the illustration.
So Giggle, Cuthbert, yes, what do you think of the painting then? Well, show us. Well, there it is. Colin, it looks like us. Yes, it does. Isn't it, Cuthbert? Colin, I love it. I think we should open a gallery under that bench. Oh, you think so? Yes. Giggle and Cuthbert, we're best friends, you know. We love each other as well. I know, I can see that. I can see you're very, very good with each other. So the illustration, Caroline, it's amazing. It looks like us. Well, I'm glad. And I think there is some love in that illustration. And I think we should maybe there should be a heart around it. How about that? I think it looks like there is a bit of a heart shape in there. You think so? Wow, Giggle, you're so clever. Thank you, Caroline. Oh. So I hope you like seeing the making of Giggle and Cuthbert illustration.